really?
Yes.
A tight end?
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
A wiggy welcome to everybody out there. It is the Sneaks and Stats podcast, and you can't believe it, episode 20, guys.
2-0. 1 week late. I am sorry. My immune system is not fantastic, apparently.
A huge wiggy welcome back to our brother Julie, aka the statistical father.
Yep.
We
Daddy's
missed
home.
I missed you, bro. Welcome back.
Thank you.
But,
you did one by yourself.
Huh?
We didn't post it, but EJ did a whole podcast.
Peach didn't tell you.
Oh. Oh, God.
First and foremost, wiggy whack that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and comment on our videos. Comment and let us know what you want to see, what kind of shoes you guys got, what shoes you guys like. Follow us on our Instagram, our X, aka Twitter, and TikTok. And shout out also to Jason Mark, the company that is we're using that product to clean our shoes. So shout out to Jason Mark
indeed.
as well.
So this week, I think, am I going to call you Cleater Peter?
Sneaker cleater, dude.
Sneaker Cleater, dude.
Yeah. It's back, baby. Football's back.
Football.
This is the greatest time of the season because all the sports start coming back, starting with football.
Yeah, the fall is super fun.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of something
Very fun.
that it's a little bit different now that your Chargers and the Rams are back in LA.
Yeah.
But LA was such an interesting football town growing up because not one person had the same team.
No.
Everyone had a different team.
It's the most
Because there was no
diverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody likes everybody in LA because it's not a football city at all.
No.
You know, the Rams did get a championship. The Raiders won one, but this is like so long ago. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they left, and it was like, by the times they were leaving, it was like the Lakers and Dodgers were really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, not really. They were kind of taking the back seat. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of football fans. In Los
yeah, no,
Angeles.
I mean, obviously football is
lot.
the most popular sport. So I just think it's cool that, like, in our video that we posted the other day, you have a lot of people repping for so many different teams. It's not just Rams,
Yes.
like Chargers, like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of Packers fans, know a lot of Cowboys fans, obviously
Yeah.
Eagles,
Another weird thing, there's like bars for all, like there's the Buccaneers bars in LA.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
so
There's,
weird.
There's obviously there's Chargers and Rams bars, but all the other teams have them too. But again, it makes it cool because it's so diverse.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool. I like being in LA for football because it's like a lot of people are watching it, but it's not like fanatical like
Yes.
in some cities.
Yeah.
Like we have our other sports that we get behind. So
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a fun time, like you said.
Super
We're gonna have baseball, football, basketball in a month, and hockey. Pretty awesome.
And baseball playoffs exactly.
Yeah.
So by the time this episode comes out, week 1 will be, or actually, Monday Night Football will be coming out the night this episode comes out.
We have the Monday Night Football matchup. Who I looked it up earlier today.
I know the Chiefs lost to the Lions last night. The Chiefs looked very pedestrian to a Lions team who is on the rise right now.
Yeah.
And it was a really good game.
Well, we'll see. As you know, I did some freelance sports writing for a while, and I covered the Rams and Raiders.
Yeah.
Back when Goff was on the team, and I think he's doing a lot better out of LA. I feel like there's a lot of players in every sport, we've talked about it, that like if you're in LA, the spotlight is just so bright, and it's easier once you leave.
Oh yeah. And
I think that's definitely the case for him, but I don't know. I think he's got a long way to go. Their defense looks good.
Their defense looks great. He's a good player, and he just I think he got a little too much hate for what happened in LA. Yeah. Because he took them to Super Bowl.
No, he had that one season was great, and then I just think there was so much pressure, and he put a lot of pressure on himself because there was
that too.
He signed that new contract with the Rams, I think in 2019, and it was just after that he said like, "Oh, the pressure's on now. Like they're paying me this much money. I have to be good." And I think it was just too much. So
and that's
I'm glad
real.
that he's doing better.
Yeah. And all that's real. All the LA's stardom and being in here that matters when you're here. So
But Monday night, when this episode comes out, it's going to be Bills in
Where?
the Meadowfields taking on the Jets.
Wow.
So
it's the first time we're gonna get to see Aaron Rodgers in the Jets uniform.
Yes.
Playing because he didn't play all preseason.
Nope. And the Bills are obviously a favorite to make it to the Super Bowl.
You already know how good they are.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a good Monday night game.
Yeah.
So
should be interesting.
Who's your pick in that one?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with the Bills just because they've had that team a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Not that I'm counting out A-Rod because he's a good player too.
Yeah.
He has a lot of good offensive weapons there as well. So should be a great game.
Should be a fun game, but yeah, I think the Bills will take it. They're on another level. It would have been interesting if there wasn't that on-field incident last year.
Exactly.
Because that really disrupted a lot for them, I felt like. But man, they're just so good.
They're pretty much stacked in every position. So
yeah, right. I mean,
it's just, and Josh Allen is a dog, and people keep, like, Pat Mahomes keeps telling him, "I got a ring," and you don't. Like during the match in golf and they were playing.
Yeah.
He kept like ribbing him about that, and I was like, that's motivation. That's just motivation right there. So
he'll get his, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Him and Joe Burrow. They're dogs.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I expect them to go deep. In the
playoffs. No, I think so. Should be a fun season. Which brings up what this episode's about. We're gonna be talking about all the cleats that the players wear in the NFL.
Yeah. It's become such a huge thing over the last 5 or 6 years or so, I think, because there was a huge restriction on it, just like how we've spoken in the past about in NFL about how, the NBA about how you can have certain colors on the shoes, was it 51?
Yeah, the 51% rule.
51% rule, and then in the NFL it was a little more strict, I would say, because they weren't allowed to customize it at all.
Yeah. The NFL has always been very rigid,
yes.
Which I don't think is necessarily bad.
Yeah.
We've talked about before, the NBA likes to change a lot of stuff. Like how we talked about the rookie-sophomore game and the All-Star game in general. Like, little things like that. And, like, now we have the Commissioner's Cup this season in the NBA.
Yeah.
The NBA is constantly doing changes where I feel like the NFL is generally pretty traditional.
That's a good way to put it. They're a little more old school than the other.
Same with like baseball.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I think there's something to be appreciated about that for sure, both ways. But especially with, I haven't been a fan of a lot of the NBA changes, so it's nice that the NFL still kind of keeps on keeping on. But this allowing them to customize the cleats is pretty nice.
Thank you for getting with the times a little bit, right? Yeah. And interestingly enough, Nike started they started their cleats in 1970. So
wow.
Get this. They started with a cleat boot in 1971. They released it during the Mexico World Cup. And
oh wow! So like a boot, like a soccer.
It's a soccer
football.
It's a football cleat boot.
Yeah.
All given to all the members of the Team Mexico, in America when they were practicing, and when they traveled to Mexico to play, none of the players brought it with them because they did not like it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's one of Nike's first real big failures where they were like, damn, one shoe just did not work.
I'll have to see if I can find a picture of that.
Interesting. Yeah, it's crazy. And then, interestingly enough, in 1982, they created a better soccer cleat that wasn't a boot, and they presented it at the Europe Cup for the team Aston Villa. The Aston Villa Football Club, which is in Aston, Birmingham, England.
Okay.
And so they're the first team ever to wear a
Nike
cleat.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Like that. So that's where it originated. And kind of crazy to where we are now in terms of cleats. Thousands of customized cleats worn by all these players. Obviously, like the players that we're going to feature today. Deebo Samuel, the boy Jalen Hurts, Kyle Rudolph, and who's the last guy that we're doing?
A little man that only needs 3 initials to his name. Oh.
He has 3 L's in his name.
He's got 3 L's in his name.
Montrezl.
Montrezl.
Nah, OBJ.
OBJ.
Odell Beckham Jr.
As you put it, the PJ Tucker of the NFL.
Yes, he really is though. He's like the shoe guy.
And he played
there.
for the Wizards of the NFL.
Yes.
The Browns.
The Browns. Yeah. Oh wow. Dang.
Actually, I think the Wizards are maybe a little better.
A shot was fired. Yes.
Bang bang.
Bang bang. And
Call me John Morant.
shout out to a huge supporter of the podcast and a friend of ours and like a brother, Aaron, our homie Aaron. He was a huge reference for us in this episode. Gave us a lot of info on which players wore what, and he gave us a lot of pictures on which cleats were really cool looking.
A great resource, that's
so
for sure.
Shout out to our boy Aaron, and also to the Any Given Sunday Fantasy Football League.
For everyone watching at home, I think this is going to be one of our most fun episodes, but don't make me cleat my words.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Okay, and with
anyways.
with that, we can start.
With that being said.
We can get into it. Like you mentioned, our first one up is Kyle Rudolph, former tight end mainly for the Vikings. He bounced around a little bit at the end of his career.
Yeah, he. A cool thing about Kyle Rudolph is he was a huge part of the Viking offense for a majority of his career. Ended up on the Giants and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yep.
I think one thing that he will remember for the rest of his career, but something also that's pretty dope in terms of his just as a fan, is when he was in Tampa last year or 2 years ago. He caught Tom Brady's last touchdown.
Oh wow!
So that's kind of like a cool highlight to have into your career.
No,
you know
that's huge.
He did retire in 2022.
Yeah.
But we couldn't not feature this cleat.
Right? Yeah, this cleat is pretty awesome.
So this is the Undertaker customized cleat. It was designed by a customizer, shoe designer, very well known they call him Mosh.
Yeah.
His name is Dan Gamache. He's been customizing shoes since 2004. Known all over the world. Does shoes for NBA, NHL, MLB, all sport players and celebrities. Basically everybody.
We got to do a custom NHL skate episode.
That would be sweet.
We got to do the Mighty Ducks where they put the orange sticker on.
Mm-hmm. That'd be dope.
That's something I thought was interesting though that we were talking about before we started here, is that so with cleats especially, you see a lot more of it's not a player edition that's made by like Nike in this case, or whoever, like a limited release of a colorway.
Yeah.
It's that they get a base model and then someone comes and customizes it with some air paint or however they choose to do it, which is cool. Mm-hmm. I think it definitely makes it way more unique.
Oh, for sure.
Than a lot of the shoes we cover normally.
Yes, and each shoe becomes more of a one of one.
Yeah,
right.
For
because as opposed to basketball shoes, sometimes they do so well. Oh, let's release it.
Yeah.
Generally to the public, right? So this is pretty cool. So if you get your hands, if you're a collector and you get your hands on one of these, you have the only one.
It's one of one.
So pretty dope. And again, a cool custom pair, because I was a huge wrestling fan, man. Like
Undertaker was the coolest.
Yeah, I mean he's top 5 best wrestlers ever.
Yeah, for sure.
People who watch wrestling in that generation will definitely have a liking towards this. You know what I mean?
I had read too. I don't actually know if he ended up playing in these. I think he did.
Mm-hmm.
But this was I did actually was able to get some stats for all this, even though they did not play basketball.
Yes. But he did wear this in honor of I guess it was Vikings versus Ravens.
Yeah.
And
purple on purple.
Yeah, seriously. And he wore it specifically during that game because the pay-per-view event for WWE was happening in Minneapolis, which is the tables, ladders, and chairs pay-per-view event, which the Hardy Boys kind of made famous, and so he's paying homage to them with the game happening the same night. Yeah, no, yeah, so it was that's awesome, very cool, a very smart way to pay homage and stuff. Super dope. I'm also really excited to hear football stats now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
There is something. It's almost more simple in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's just like.
I love basketball stats. It's just it's a different,
Completely
different.
different. Yeah, you know completely different beast. So he had he made 5 catches on 7 targets.
Okay.
And for 43 yards. So
not bad.
Nothing too crazy.
Who's throwing to him back? Was it? Okay, can I guess? Can I guess?
I'll give it to you. I'll give it.
Is it? It's not Cousins.
No, not Kirk Cousins yet.
Oh man, this is what 2019.
This is 2017. This
17,
is
okay.
October 22nd.
2017 Vikings. Oh gosh, I am like completely lost.
Dude, yeah, that team is not one that I am.
Who is it? It's gonna bug me when then you say it.
Case Keenum.
Oh my God, Case Keenum. Nice. Right? What a name drop. Uh-huh.
This was week 7.
Okay.
Keenum threw. He had 20 completions on 31 attempts for
not bad.
188 yards. So. Not great.
Not good.
Yeah.
Did they lose to the?
Yeah, so they lost. No, they won. Sorry, they won 24-16.
Oh wow.
This is kind of. I remember the Ravens kind of being in like a weird place with Flacco towards the end of his tenure there.
They almost were like they wanted to ship him out, but it was like he won us a ring, so like that should we keep him? It was during that weird time before he went to the Jets.
Yeah, and that's what's. So I do like football. Like I watched the game last night. I'll try and watch on Sunday if I can usually. But basketball is kind of my life.
No,
like,
of course.
That's.
No, of course.
I feel like I am fully invested into basketball.
Yeah.
I'm very superficially invested into football. It's very enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
But so it's like weird because I don't know a lot of the players, especially from 2017. I wasn't really watching football then. Mm-hmm. It's only been the last 3 years or so that I'm really watching. So it's like, I'm like, oh man, this is so weird.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm on the same boat as you two. I'm a basketball first guy, but I've always watched basketball and football hand in hand when I was young. Yeah. So I kind of, but I do know more basketball than football. For sure.
I do like, and something that I kind of envy, I guess, is that in football, I feel like for the most part, because it's a very short season compared to the NBA, and the playoffs even shorter.
Yeah.
Where, in a way, in the NBA, I feel like in a best of 7 series, the best team.
Yes.
Regardless of injuries, of course, that changes things, but the best team always comes out on top. Where I feel like in the NFL, you can have just a Cinderella team that goes who knows how far. Like
because injuries go a long way in football. I think
a really long way, and
also
it's just one game.
Yes.
So it's
like one guy can destroy a whole or disrupt the whole system, right? So like this is if the Mahomes is out for a playoff game, they're probably most likely not going to win that game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As opposed to like in basketball, you'll have 7 tries.
But I like that. We know the Chiefs are going to be good. The Bills are going to be good. The Bengals are going to be good. Mm-hmm. The teams that are going to be good, but it's not like when KD was on the Warriors. It was like, oh well, they're going the next 4 years. Like,
yes.
There's a lot more chance and
chance for other teams
to actually be good.
Uh-oh.
And I feel like to the way the rules are set up for like free agency and how they pay players and stuff, it encourages more change. Like there's a lot of big change.
Yeah, and then there's an NFL team has up to like 60 players.
Yeah, I think more too.
Like you said, it's a shorter season, but also way more taxing on the body as opposed to other sports. I would say because of the beating up of each other's bodies.
I can't imagine.
Banging and all that.
Yeah.
It's so crazy hearing all the stories of like linemen, and like their body hurts and then they got to go back to practice by Tuesday, Wednesday, and
I seriously can't imagine.
It's so tough
doing it now. It seems like a nightmare.
That's why I think you got to give NFL players a lot of props for what they do, man.
But moving on to something that I'm a little more familiar with.
Yes.
Is our next guy is Deebo Samuel, who signed with Jordan Brand at the start of last season. Mm-hmm. So he's got some interesting kicks, and this is one that he broke out during the playoffs last year. Mm-hmm. The Chicago one, he wore the lows specifically.
Yes.
And it's just so weird to see, like you mentioned, like how it gets round at the bottom.
It does.
It's so weird.
The football cleat, I think, would be better if you have a narrower foot too. You know, I think. I wonder. I want to look it up. I wonder what they do for players that have like a wider foot. I have a pretty wide foot, so I don't know how cleats would be for me. I feel like I would turn my ankle in a cleat. You know what I mean?
That's something that's kind of interesting too. Doing a cleat episode is that like.
Yeah.
There's not cleat culture. Not really. I mean, I'm sure if you play football,
you're not gonna. Yeah.
But for most people that do play football, that only lasts 4 to 8 years max, unless you go into the NFL.
Yeah,
and then after that, it's like, what are you gonna do?
Exactly. I would imagine so too. People that play or kids that play, starting maybe like in Pop Warner all the way up into college, like it's their sport. I would imagine they have a collection of cleats.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah,
you know.
But it's weird, like. You can't obviously you can't wear these anywhere else.
Like,
it's not like sneaker culture where
it's not. It is part of it, but you're not gonna wear them to sneaker con.
Which is why it's so weird seeing, especially the upper. The low looks a little more normal.
Yes.
I feel like most cleats are low-ish.
Yes.
So seeing the upper of the Jordan 1 and then a cleat bottom it's a trip. So weird.
It's so
weird.
It really is.
Especially such an iconic sneaker like this.
Yeah. And I was telling you earlier, you know, having a shoe on foot changes a lot. So when you see this on Deebo and with the 49er uniform, it looks like complete uniform. It looks sick.
Which I have a photo of that.
Which is awesome.
That looks nice.
Wow.
That looks really nice.
Like it's well put together. You know what I mean?
It just looks funny. I wonder how it is, you know, like playing in a Jordan 1 cleat as compared to playing in a Jordan 1 now in basketball.
Yeah.
I wonder if because obviously, like we've talked about, no one wears Jordan 1s to play basketball professionally.
Well, see, different here because you can change the bottom.
You can change the bottom, yeah.
Changing the bottom of an actual Jordan 1, then you're changing the shoe. That's right.
Yeah.
It's like putting. I
wonder if they hold up a little better too because of that.
Yeah, I think I would think so because you're also putting the new technologies into that, right? So they're getting the best technology, not the old Jordan 1 technology.
That's very true. Yeah. Such a trip to see that.
Which is cool because I kind of wanted to bring up like what Kobe. So Kobe didn't like calling his shoes that were coming out again like the retro shoes.
Yes.
Retros.
Yeah.
He calls them protros, right? Meaning it's the same shoe but with the new technologies of today.
It's like an update.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would imagine they're doing the same thing with these.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same upper, but better materials, and obviously the bottom of the cleat is the highest form of technology too.
Do you know when Jordan specifically started getting into cleats? Was it when Mike started
and football
playing baseball?
So, great question.
And if you don't know, don't cleat yourself up.
Let me choose the right player that I'm thinking of. What was I gonna say? Okay. So in 2001, Donovan McNabb became the very first quarterback to be signed by Jordan. In 2004. Oh no, sorry. The first player ever to sign with Jordan was Randy Moss.
That's pretty sick.
For also the first NFL player to have his own signature shoe, and then 2001, McNabb became the first quarterback. So around the early 2000s, like 99 to early 2000s, is when it started popping off with the cleats and stuff like that. And I think he saw like, okay, there's a market here, you know?
Yeah, it would be interesting to talk about that because obviously baseball cleats are different than football cleats.
Yeah.
But it's like obviously they made Jordan cleats for when he had his little hiatus in the 90s. So good starting point, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
And with the rise now in the last 3 years or so of golf in the world, man. Jordan golf cleats have taken off like huge.
See, those would be cool. Whenever I'm scrolling through the Nike app and I see like a Jordan 1 golf cleat, I'm like, oh, that would be kind of sick.
Also, a Jordan 1 low North Carolina colorway, $500. A Jordan 1 low golf North Carolina colorway, $150.
Yeah, right.
And the cleat is connected already, and it's not an actual long cleat.
Yeah,
so you can wear it as a regular shoe.
You could. It would be weird, but you could.
Just saying. But back to football. Yeah, the team. Okay, the Team Jordan football the football players and for Team Jordan, it's pretty random. I saw it when I was doing my research for this episode, and it's really random. Okay, so you have your boy Jimmy G is Team Jordan. Dwayne Haskins is so random, quarterback for the Commanders.
Yep.
Devontae Adams makes sense. Deebo, Cameron Jordan, who is defensive lineman for the Saints, and then our boy Jalen Hurts, that we're gonna talk about later. Such a random
That's a
group.
odd list.
There's stars on there, but also like, I guess.
Sure. Haskins.
Sure.
We're gonna get a lot of Raiders colorways in Jordans this year, I guess. Some black and silver, baby.
No, don't do that. Bolta. Now. I can't wait for that matchup.
Now.
We should do an episode where when they're playing each other
Yeah, let's do it.
and do some content, and we're not friends that day.
Deebo, though, and this was this most recent season. This was a playoff game.
Yes.
Against the Seahawks.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Yes.
they kind of smacked them that game because obviously the Seahawks were kind of a surprise story last year.
Mm-hmm.
Gino's resurgence. Mm-hmm. This was January 14th, 2023, which was the day before Deebo's birthday, which I found out we share an exact birthday.
Oh, really?
Same year and everything.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. And he had 6 catches for 133 yards.
Oh my God.
Including one bomb from Purdy for a touchdown, 74 yards.
Yeah. Damn. That's what gave him the 100 right there.
Yeah, man.
That's
that
what
was
shot
pretty
up the
much
yards.
all it took. He also had 3 rushing attempts for 32 yards, so that was pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Purdy, though, man. Purdy had a... Dude, he's the truth. It's going to be fun to watch this season.
I love that guy. He won me a fantasy championship last year.
He came alive.
That guy's
last
awesome.
Year.
That guy's awesome. And they even traded Trey Lance because they believed in him, which is
crazy.
Insane.
He went for 332 yards.
Damn.
And 3 touchdown passes on 18 completions.
He's
pretty
a beast.
Nuts, man.
He's a beast. I expect him to play pretty well this season if he stays healthy. You know,
it'll be fun to watch, man. The 49ers, man, they're
they're
kind
good.
of hate them, but man, they are always so good.
I have them as a Super Bowl contender for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're up there. Obviously, their defense is amazing. They just signed Nick Bosa to a contract extension, and I believe it's like $180 million for a defensive lineman.
He's the highest paid defensive player in the history of the NFL.
Insane.
And he and his brother
Joey
are they're both now. They're both in the top 4 of the highest paid players of all time.
Deservingly, they're both amazing
man, they're
players.
pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. We wanted to do a few honorable mentions for some cleats too. So kind of all the players after this, I threw in a few extra pairs. So these I thought were pretty nice.
Dior 1
Jordan 1 lows, dude.
Fire.
Those are pretty nice.
Those are so nice.
I hadn't seen the shoe before. Yeah, it looks good. These are a nice shoe. I mean, I don't know if I'd pay $2,000 for them, but
look at you knowing the price.
Yeah,
man.
right. Yeah.
Nice.
They're pretty nice. They came out looking good.
Those are an amazing shoe. But I'm not dropping $2,000 on that. No. But that's a good pair.
Yeah.
I mean, 49ers uniform is so classic and clean. Like,
red and white. You know, and
almost like a Jordan 1, bro. You can't beat that colorway. And then the gold is dope.
This was week 4 of last season against the Rams. This was in San Francisco, and the Niners won 24-9. And Deebo had 6 catches on 7 targets for 115 yards. And with 1 touchdown from a 57-yard pass from Jimmy G.
Awesome.
And I remember this too because. This is the weird thing. Like I mentioned, growing up in LA, you don't really have a lot of affiliations, but I did write for the Rams and Raiders. I covered them. So I kind of still pull for both of them a little bit. I remember this game for the Rams. I'm like, oh, season's over.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this was a terrible game. Stafford looked awful.
They didn't have a really good year last year, the Rams, coming off of a Super Bowl hangover.
Good year this year.
No, they don't look too good either this year, but they will fight hard for Coach Sean McVay, who I feel like Great coach who also had a great team, but was able to manage them really well. This is a good test to see how well he can get these players to play this season.
Yeah,
because he does have Stafford back, but does not have basically the offensive weapons that he used to have. So we'll see how
very diminished. Yeah. But Cooper
Deebo,
Kupp is still Cooper Kupp. So
Cooper Kupp is no slouch. He's obviously one of the best, but he is still coming back from that injury. Obviously, I don't think he's gonna play week 1. He's so they're gonna rest him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does have Cooper Kupp still. That's right.
Yeah.
True. Deebo has, interesting enough, hasn't been in the league too long.
No, yeah, not very long.
This will only be his 5th season, I believe. In a wide receiver room with Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk, who's also a really good wide receiver.
Yeah.
And Deebo is known for basically doing everything. So he catches, but he also rushes the ball sometimes too.
He's
overall he's had 12 receiving touchdowns and 14 rushing touchdowns in his career.
Wow.
So to be able to have to be a wide receiver and have the stats as a receiver, but also as a running back.
Yeah, dual threat.
Pretty
man.
awesome.
That's pretty crazy.
Not a lot of receivers can do that.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had that many rushing touchdowns. That's pretty.
So pretty cool. It whenever you can have a guy like that on your team who can you can give the ball to, pass it to him and give it to him on the run. Pretty awesome.
That's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not like they have they had a good running back room last year. So to have so many options.
Right. Yeah, that's why. Also, who is the real Deebo to you? So his nickname is Deebo. He got that obviously from Friday.
That's the real one.
That is also the real Deebo, and then he's a Deebo, and then also DeMar DeRozan is also Deebo, and he's from LA. But we don't call DeMar DeRozan that. He's not. That's his nickname, I think, within the circle of friends.
With his friends. No. This between the athletes, I would go with.
I'd have to go with him.
With Deebo.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan's just a cool name, so you don't need a nickname.
Need to go Deebo. Yeah.
I heard just yesterday. I don't buy this because I don't know why either side would do this, but a possible Harden for DeRozan swap.
Yes.
Or something along those lines. But I was like, why would anyone do that? The Bulls know that they're only getting a rental, and I don't think DeMar does that much for me if I'm the 76ers.
No.
Like
no disrespect to him, it's a little bit of a downgrade, kind of,
A little bit. I mean, unless you really are just going to say, okay, Maxey, you're the point guard. You're the full-time point guard, and DeMar, you're going to play
the bucket.
Yeah, the wing, which could work, but I don't know. I don't see that.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
But that's the end of the real Deebo.
The real Deebo?
The real Deebo.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see why he runs it, man. Look at those legs.
He's got... Yeah, he's also
built tough.
He's also a really strong guy.
That's what you need. That's what you need to be a successful running back, right? I mean,
I think part of the reason why they call him that is because he's strong. So shout out
cross-eyed.
Deebo. He's also one of my receivers in one of my leagues. So let's get it.
And then moving on to, I think maybe my favorite pair of shoes.
I'm gonna say that. Well, actually, you know what? I forgot about the end.
We got some good ones at the end.
I'll pick my favorite later.
But this might be my favorite pair.
Beautiful.
And I mean, it's pretty much exactly just like the sneaker. Nothing too crazy. The Jordan 11 cleat here.
This is the Concord 11.
But when it's paired with our player here, oh boy, that with the Eagles black uniforms are really nice.
That is,
and those together are
perfectly put together, dude.
And also kind of a cool touch. I mean, obviously, different places, but AI famously wore the Concord 11s.
Yes.
Not while he was in Philly, but cool tying together there.
He wore it during his Georgetown years. Yeah. The Concord 11 is obviously a staple in the sneaker community. Yeah. To put it on a cleat and have football players able to wear it to me has always been dope. Like even just like the Jordan 1, whenever you can get any of those Jordans, put them on cleats. I always thought some look better than others.
These I think look better than the Jordan 1s.
I think so too. But you know why? Because the 11 is more of a rounder shoe, so it matches the
The Jordan 1 just
blends
does
better.
not look like it should have a round bottom.
Yes.
Where these, you could pull it off.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts here, obviously rocking them. This was just last season against the Packers in, let's see, week 12. Eagles ended up winning since they hardly lost at all last year. They won 40-33. And Hurts had a crazy game, man. 16 completions for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns, and
How many? Come on, give me the rushing.
17 rush attempts,
Fuck.
157 yards, including a 42-yard rush.
Yeah.
That's nuts. No rushing touchdowns, oddly, but
He was
dude.
He was my quarterback in fantasy last year when I won that shit, and he was easily my MVP of my team. Like, at least 30, 35 fantasy points every week.
Yeah, he went crazy last year. For
He's an amazing guy, almost unstoppable. Nobody really counted on him coming into the league, or thought he would do as well as he thought he would. He in 2017 he was backup for Tua.
Yeah.
In
in college.
Yeah, Alabama. Tua, who's the quarterback for Miami.
What a crazy Alabama team that
What
was.
a crazy team. And then he was backup for him. And then in 2018, he brought Alabama got them the SEC championship against the Bulldogs, but then transferred to Oklahoma to be the main guy.
Yeah.
So kind of a crazy college career, and then amazing.
Tua's no slouch either now. I mean, he's
a
finally
good quarterback
coming
too.
into his own finally, I think. I mean, obviously the injuries last year kind of derailed that, but
I didn't like how the Dolphins kind of handled that either.
Man.
Kind of messed it up. I feel bad for him as well.
Exactly.
I'm glad he's okay, and I hope
he
brain
stays
is okay.
Yeah, because that was you're right. That was really poor handling of that entire
Awful,
situation.
dude. Almost should have retired, maybe. You know what I mean? So
that's the thing, right? Is it worth it to have generational wealth for not only you but your kids and hopefully your grandkids if you manage your money right? If you play in the NFL, you're going to have a physical disability and later part of your life. It's just a fact.
Yes, whether it be in your body or CTE.
Yeah,
you know, because of all the.
I don't know if it's worth it personally.
I love football. I just don't know if I don't know if I.
Maybe not for me.
I don't have the body for it either, you know. But again, I love the sport. Beautiful sport.
Very fun to watch. And also, since you mentioned your fantasy teams a few times, I don't know what happened. My league fell apart this year, so I'm not in a league.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. I just never heard anything.
Your homies aren't doing one?
No, I think my work did one, but
you didn't want to be in there.
No, I was like,
yeah.
I heard last year it was not a very fun league. I heard some people took it way too seriously, so I was like, I don't know, gonna pass. Fantasy football is perfect. For fantasy sports.
Yes.
We've played fantasy basketball together. I've kind of stepped away because it's just, I don't think it's that fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially compared to fantasy football.
Yeah.
It's the perfect way to do fantasy sports.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Especially for people we are all adulting, so we have a lot of stuff going on in our life.
Yeah, that's what makes it good too.
It can take up a lot of your time. Fantasy football, you basically set it up 1 day a week. And then Mondays and Thursdays now, obviously, but that's only one game on Mondays and Thursdays. But you have basically 5 to 6 days to plan who you want to play.
Yeah, it's great.
That is a big reason why a lot of people love football, fantasy football more than basketball.
Yeah, I know. We've had people that are big football fans that we've played fantasy basketball with, and they're like, I just can't do it every day.
Yeah, like, it's a lot, man.
They're like, this is too much.
It's a lot.
Or like even when we worked together, our fantasy basketball league essentially took a back seat until the football season was done. Like no one cared, even though we were in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's just fantasy basketball. It just doesn't work well with.
It's very long, and also to commit every single day is a huge commitment.
Yes.
I mean, I love both.
Yeah.
But fantasy football, you're right. Fantasy football is definitely the number one,
fun,
I think.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts. What's interesting with him is these cleats were made by Jordan, so Jordan is obviously making a lot of good cleats for football players and baseball players.
He signed last year, right? As well, I think.
He just recently signed. He is their newest member of the Jordan team for football, which I think is a huge signing for them.
Huge signing.
Amazing player, top 10 player easily.
Yeah.
He's been to the Super Bowl. Again, they are contenders, so a great athlete to represent that brand for them.
Yeah.
I think he also has worn these plenty of times. He won it to the Super Bowl, and then in the first quarter he wore those. The second in Super Bowl 57, and then he changed in the second quarter to wear those green ones that we like.
Yes, I have a picture of that.
Oh, those are hard.
Some,
Those are so sick. Aaron, thank you very much.
yes.
Those are dope.
I would get these as a regular shoe, man. The color blocking with the Eagles colors is nice.
Super nice,
Really
man.
nice.
So clean. Yeah, the color blocking is perfect. They put the green in the perfect place. And I was telling Julian earlier, I'm not an Eagles fan, but if I had those, I would just say it's the Eagle Rock Eagles.
You would Eagle rock them?
I would Eagle Rock them
Daily.
Yeah,
this was crazy. This was in the Super Bowl, like you mentioned, which obviously, the Chiefs went on to win, but crazy shoe though. So these look honestly a little better to me than I think even the Chicago colorway that Deebo had. They just it just is so weird to see a Chicago one on a football player.
That's not a basketball shoe.
Yeah, it's not that it even looks bad. It's just like my brain can't make the I can't make the connection.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet. Yeah. That's fine.
Pretty sick though.
But yeah, he's always worn his J cleats throughout the season last year.
Yeah.
So now that he's signed with Jordan, I'm so excited to see all the pairs he's gonna wear now. I'm hoping that he wears an Eagles Jordan 6 colorway. You imagine that?
That'd be cool.
A white, black, and green Jordan 6 cleat would be hard.
It'll be interesting to see. I wonder if they'll maybe do a 38 for him.
Oh, that would be interesting.
That's
with
a little
the
more
newer shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I think maybe more the retro stuff.
Yeah, because those are way more tailored to be. The 38s especially are a basketball.
Straight
shoe.
basketball because of all the technologies in there. But I wouldn't be surprised because with all the stuff that they're doing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, it'll be cool to see what he pulls out this season. Should be fun because he can do. There's a lot of retros he can do.
Did you see AJ Brown, who's a wide receiver for the Eagles? They dropped a video recently. They mic'd him up during practice, and he wore pink cleats, and he was like, "I'm wearing these for my daughter so she could recognize me on the field." And he catches a touchdown over a dude in practice, and he goes up to his daughter, and the daughter starts crying. He's like, "Why are you crying? It's me!" And then he gives her a football. And then it's just like a cool, cute.
That's funny. No, I didn't see
cute,
that.
Like a moment between him and his daughter and
that's
stuff.
pretty funny.
So it's pretty dope. He was wearing I don't know if they were like Barbie cleats, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty cool though.
And then we moving on here to the Cleat King, not the Sneaker King, the Cleat King.
Cleat King.
OBJ, and we started with probably the craziest pair of anything. Like sneakers
Easily.
or cleats, these are one of the craziest pairs I've ever seen.
Easily. And again, not made by a customizer. This was made by Nike.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's crazy.
Shout out to them for doing this. This is OBJ's. What OBJ does is he likes using which you said earlier. He doesn't have his own cleat. He uses one of the cleats that he likes to wear for the games. So this one is the Nike Vapor Untouchable. This is such a long name.
3, yeah.
Pro 3 Untouchable. 10 names in there. But
more up tempo.
more up tempo, Air more up tempo, yeah. And the Air more up tempo part is his letters.
And the blocking, yeah.
The blocking, which is amazing, which I love that they did that. The red is supposed to symbolize the candy cane for Christmas.
Yeah.
With the balls, and then at the end, at the back of the shoe, on the left shoe is the Grinch's tiny heart. Do you remember that?
That's funny.
And then on the right shoe on the back is that big bag of presents that he steals.
Yeah.
So, I don't think he wore them in the game.
He did not. He warmed up in them.
He's a very
crazy
fashionable guy who I'm gonna rock these just pre-game, and then I'm gonna switch up my stuff during the game. Like because I want to wear multiple pairs.
Yeah.
He's one of those dudes. He's literally the PJ Tucker of football.
Yeah. He had some that he only warmed up in 2 when I was looking through his sneakers, where it was the same sneakers, his cleats. Mm-hmm. He wore the same cleat, it was the same exact model, and it also had the more air type thing going on, but it was a puppy. So it had this kind of fur on it, and then it had 2 ears coming off of it.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture up of
so
those.
Crazy. What I mean?
So funny.
There's nothing you can't do to customize his shoe, bro. Like,
but I did get a few more, so I have some stats of when he did, some pairs he did play in.
For you guys that know, he's a great player.
He is pretty good when he does play, which is lately
he's been hurt.
Not a lot.
He's been hurt. Those are dope.
The Browns colorway on the like more air model. Oh man,
this is almost like an Air more shattered backboard.
Yeah, right? Kind of.
Amazing. It's like combined. Just because of the colors, though.
This was obviously back when he was on the Browns.
Yeah.
This was 2019, and this was...
playing a team with the same colors, too.
I know. I always thought that was interesting. Like, how did that happen, that both of the teams in Ohio ended up with the same...
with orange.
The same colors.
Yeah.
This was week 17, though. Their last game of the season, and I kind of remember this because we had a coworker who was a big Browns fan, and this was when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna kill you, everyone," because we have OBJ, we have Jarvis Landry,
his friend,
and they're like, and Baker Mayfield's gonna take over.
Yeah.
None of that happened. They finished with a terrible 6-10 record, and this was I remember this game in particular was like the cherry on top of the poop Sunday. Yeah. They lost to their rivals in the last game of the season. They lost 23-33 to the Bengals, who were not good. They didn't have Burrow at this point. They were 2-14 that season.
Yeah,
one of their 2 wins.
Yeah, the Bengals went through a bad time before they were who they are now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was a Browns team that they expected a lot from, that didn't have
huge
much
expectations that
did not come through. They're in that situation again because they have good wide receivers.
Yeah, they have a really...
Deshaun Watson is in his full year with the Browns after his suspension and stuff, and he obviously wasn't himself last year. So again, they have some expectations again this year, but let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. Cool colorway though.
Shout out to OBJ though. He's played for the Rams. He won a Super Bowl with them with a torn ACL.
Yeah.
He also was on the Giants, which I think he made his career kind of.
Reach back like 1-3.
And then the catch,
yes,
the one-handed catch is just insane. Probably one of the best ever.
Yes, easily.
So he's
and the call too on that is crazy because they both of them are like, oh man, flag on the play. Then they both are like,
wait a minute,
did he catch that?
Like falling back.
Chris Collinsworth call on that is amazing.
Falling back one leg like this, like on the sideline, it's just amazing.
One of the craziest plays ever.
No, he didn't start it, but he made the one-hand catch cool.
Oh yeah,
he was like the guy that did that.
He made it like a thing. It was really too bad that he and Eli couldn't really mesh. Like, 'cause they were good, but never going to the Super Bowl.
No, they didn't figure.
They didn't really get along too. I don't think.
I don't think they did. Yeah.
I remember hearing some weird stuff. I mean, this was all like in Eli's last season.
Yeah.
I think it was like Saquon Barkley's rookie year or something, and it was like, there was stuff coming out about.
I don't want to badmouth him. I have heard he have the tendency to be a diva a little bit.
Yeah.
He did have that airplane incident last year too, which is kind of weird. So, I hope he calms down and it gets his career back on track with the Ravens.
Could be super interesting.
Another team that has a lot of expectations. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, especially after last season.
Has a lot to prove. Man. Yeah, him and their wide receiver room is also amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty stacked.
So they should be good.
In this game though against the Bengals,
let's hear it.
He had such a weird time in Cleveland. He had 3 catches on 6 targets for 81 yards.
Not bad.
And 1 touchdown. It's not bad, but just
that's actually pretty good.
I think that's why he was frustrated in Cleveland, is that he felt like he wasn't getting enough. But it's like when you're the guy,
Yeah.
You're gonna be doubled every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
You gotta find a way, man.
I got one more for you too. It's
Hit me.
the opposite of this.
So sick.
So I wanted to see which you prefer.
Ooh,
Those are
hard
nice.
too. That whole uniform is, I mean, like I said, I'm a sucker for orange, dude, and brown. I don't know.
The brown
what it
is a little weird, I think. As far as the jerseys, it
Yeah.
works, but it's a little weird to me.
I like it. It looks kind of college-y.
Yes,
looking.
yeah. But the cleats.
The cleats are
crazy.
They go crazy. I do like the white one better, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think I do too.
Yeah.
But these are pretty nice.
It's a lot of orange. I'm not opposed to it, but also, kind of hard to wear.
It was cool too because I think you can't really make it out, but I think that's a 1-3.
That's a 13.
Yeah. So,
I think they made that for the inside of the shoe.
Yeah, for the inside midsole there.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool. This was same year. Just a few weeks before that against the Bengals as well, but they did win this one 27-19, and he had 2 catches on 5 targets for 39 yards. So nothing crazy.
Yeah, he had a tough time
in
Cleveland, man. It wasn't that fun for him over there, I think.
No, yeah, it was not great, not a great time for him.
Yeah.
And then I got one more pair. That again, I think he just warmed up in these. Pretty sick, dude.
So beautifully done. Obviously, these are the Joker cleats that were made for him.
These were a customized pair, I believe.
This one is custom for sure, from a customizer. I don't know exactly who it was. This was made for the newest Joker movie that has came out
a few years ago.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
And they used his style of makeup for this shoe.
Yeah.
To me,
very cool.
Executed perfectly.
Great execution.
So simple. It's obviously a white cleat and then just his makeup.
I think too on his left foot, it's it's the Heath Ledger joke, or it's kind of a mixture because it's the mask that Joker wears in the beginning of the Dark
scene.
Knight. Yeah, when they're robbing the bank, which is also a nod to the Joker from the Batman TV show with Adam West. Mm-hmm. So it's layered.
So all Jokers.
A lot of Jokers, except I'm not seeing a lot of Jack Nicholson.
That's right. And and obviously what a beautiful touch there with
great logo.
His logo.
The way they worked it.
Using it as his face.
Super
and
cool.
The mouth. Man, there's some talented. Shout out to all the customizers out there, not just for cleats and shoes.
Lots of we've talked about before Batman stuff.
Batman.
Like the Batman sixes.
The Michael Keaton ones.
Yeah, the Michael Keaton sixes. But yeah, cool stuff. This is the last pair I had. There was a few others that Aaron sent us that were really cool, like the graduation, the Kanye inspired graduation cleats that OBJ had. Those are pretty cool.
There's a Majin Buu Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Custom pair. There's thousands of pairs that we obviously just haven't gotten to yet, but football season just started. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff.
Yes. OBJ had a cool pair I saw when I was looking through of almost like a Miami Heat, the Miami Vice colorway that they have. Mm-hmm. It was blue and pink with where the OBJ on the Air More Up Tempo like writing.
Yeah.
The lining was pink. The inside was black, and then the cleat was blue. It was cool. It was a good looking shoe.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, there's just so many. We just chose the ones that we thought were kind of important. Obviously, the Jordan ones, and the Grinch ones. I think the Grinch.
One of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, the Grinch colorway is used so much. Kobe uses it a lot in his colorways. Perfect for the holidays and all that stuff. You could technically use the Joker colorway for like a Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
A Halloween game or whatever.
Would you say, obviously his cleats are not exactly the Nike Air More Up Tempo, but they pretty much are. I mean, it's like his own custom version. Would you say he's going to be more well known for Nike More Air Up Tempo or Scotty?
I'm going to say Scotty, just because the fact that it's in a different sport kind of separates it.
Yeah.
So I think in football, it'd be like, he's the guy that did that with his own initials on there. But when I think of the actual Air More, I think Scotty.
Yeah.
It could change. I would say right now it might be even split.
Yeah, you never know. But again, it's like, just like we talked about, like cleat culture is not
Yeah, it's there.
It's way different. Yeah,
it's there, but it's not like you can't wear the shoe to the mall or to the.
Well, even just too, I just think like if you polled NBA fans and NFL fans on like shoes or like just like do you pay attention to shoes, the NBA fans, it's gonna be way higher because it's part of the game.
Yeah.
And it's part of it all. Where
I mean, the Jordan kind of started it all.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it was basketball, and there's. But believe it or not, there's a lot of the collectors out there. They collect the cleats. They collect because they're, like I said earlier, they're one of one. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like, there's this one guy I know that I watched a video of his on YouTube. He has the all black Jordan 9 cleats that Jordan wore when he was on the Barons. It even has the 45 in the back, and that's the only one.
That's crazy.
So it's like,
how do you get your hands on that?
Yeah, I mean the connections are insane. Right?
What are you rocking today, by the way?
I am rocking the Nike Air Barrage. This is the Barrage Highs, made famous by Marshall Faulk. I thought it would be fitting to wear a football shoe for the football-inspired shoe episode.
Yeah.
And you got on the classic heaters.
I got on my classic heaters, yes.
Not cleaters.
Not cleaters, no. I don't have any classic cleaters.
Yeah.
I like your shoes look a lot like a Chuck shoe. They're strapped up.
Yes, they are strapped up, and like the design, doesn't it remind you of the 90s styles?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's got, like you mentioned, it's like the Raptors colorway, but it's specifically like the 90s Raptors because that's really when they had purple and red.
The dinosaur.
Now it's kind of one or the other. Actually, now that's like black and gold, but
and red.
Yeah. They've dropped the purple, so it's definitely it makes me think of a dinosaur.
And I've gotten people to tell me like, wow, it's such a big bulky
cool shoe.
Because it came out during a time where big bulky was the thing. So these are my shoes.
These are the shoes. A little bit of housekeeping. Team USA lost earlier this morning of when we recorded it to Germany, a stacked Germany team, which if you guys watched that episode, you'll know how we felt. Like that was a big competitor.
There was a big competitor. The teams that are left are actually really stacked and pretty good.
Yeah, Serbia is pretty stacked. And what's crazy is that they're missing a certain NBA Finals MVP, Nikola Jokic, who is not playing. I don't know if he'll ever really play.
That guy's watching TV at home.
He's with his horses and stuff. He's
with Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, he was. So it'll be interesting to see if he plays in the Olympics next year. Because I mean, if they're looking like they're on their way to win.
The gold?
Win the gold over Germany.
Uh-huh.
So if they can win the gold and then they can add Nikola Jokic to that team.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. That would be amazing.
Germany is very good, so
Germany is super
should be a fun finals.
The USA will play Canada for the third place game.
Which
sucks.
Could be.
But also, they could also lose that.
That could be a tough matchup, man. Canada is really good.
Their starting five is all NBA players,
yeah,
too.
Man. So. They have a good team.
And someone might get knocked out by Dylan Brooks wearing gloves. Guy, dude. But, thank God they qualified already for the Olympics.
Yeah, we don't have to go through that process again.
Japan also qualified for the first time since 2004
They beat their first ever European team.
Yeah. Good. Shout out Yuta Watanabe and all those
Watanabe.
boys. And USA got to get back to the drawing board, man. Like me and Julian said, no disrespect to them, but this is like the B squad.
Yeah, and that's what I've been hearing a lot of people say, and that's just kind of how it goes for the FIBA Cup. They don't always roll out the best team. I am concerned, like, Jaren Jackson Jr. did not play well. Like, he only got, I think in the last 2 games, he's had like 6 rebounds total. Yeah. Total.
And this is the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so
something's got to change. Bam, hopefully will come back because he played in Japan in the Olympics.
Yes.
So.
Also, very disappointing was Brandon Ingram's performance. I think he was expected to be kind of like a focal point of this team, but that's just not how it works. Like,
he's probably, I think, the most decorated player on the team as far as like he's had all-star appearances and he's
established scorer.
Yeah, established scorer. He just I don't think it's an indication that he's a bad player. I just don't think he fits well into the system, which That's kind of rough. Like if you play well on Team USA, I think that's a very good indication that you're a good team player.
Yeah.
So
Anthony Edwards,
he looks like a star, man.
He will be an all-star this upcoming NBA season and for more seasons to come. That guy is what we would call a CBG.
A CBG-ber.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks legit crazy. He's going to be really good. Mm-hmm. Minnesota's got a lot to figure out, but
they do. If they can
especially Gobert also had a terrible tournament. He had Jaren Jackson Jr. stats. He had I think 2 points and like 5 rebounds in their game that they got eliminated in because they didn't even make it to past the group stage, which is crazy.
Which is crazy. And you're the dude there, and that team's that bad.
There's some talks. I'm not sure how to line up, but Joel Embiid, I think he was born in Cameroon, or he has some Cameroonian ancestry in there somewhere. But obviously, a fair amount of the African teams don't do very well. Sudan qualified. First time ever. Luol Deng heading up that program. Super cool. Very excited for them.
Yeah.
But generally, a lot of the African teams don't have a great basketball program, so he does not play for the Cameroonian team.
Yeah.
There's talks about in the Olympics he might play for the French team, which would be interesting if they...
So how is that? He would have to get like a visa, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he already has French nationality. He needs to be... You need to be a citizen of the country you play for, otherwise you can't play.
Right.
And obviously will speed up that process for the athletes.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Bahamas had a lot of players this year.
Yeah.
They had like Eric Gordon and...
even like what's his name? Slow-Mo. He played for Canada. I think I don't even know if
he played for China.
Or China, sorry.
Yeah.
But is he Chinese?
He
does have
mom
a descent. Yeah. Never mind. I thought he was one of those dudes that just wanted to play for a team.
I think you have to have some kind of...
Yeah.
Generally. I mean, obviously there's exceptions.
Some kind of background, right?
Yeah. And then there's also talks of maybe Embiid playing for the U.S., which I guess that would only be because he's a citizen at this point. But that'll be interesting.
But Olympics 2024 Paris, right?
Yeah. So France qualifies no matter what, even though they are not looking.
They're not going to be good. But yeah, 2024, and the USA team will have a completely different team.
Different roster. Yeah.
They will put the number one, the A-listers on there.
Tatum will probably come back.
You'll have Tatum on there
Hopefully,
for sure.
Bam Adebayo comes back.
But they're even saying they should ask Braun if he wants to go for a third title. Our third gold medal.
I don't think he will. For a while.
I don't think he will. A lot of those stars, they're gonna try to get Curry. I think maybe Clay.
I would be really surprised.
But I don't see these guys playing either.
Maybe Grant Hill is heading up that program now, so that's a pretty. Grant Hill was a legit star, so he can maybe convince some guys to come that normally wouldn't. But
it'll be interesting.
LeBron and Steph would be super weird to me.
It would be interesting. Yeah, it would remind me of Kobe on the 2012 team where he was kind of like the older guy now.
Yeah.
You know?
I think Anthony Edwards could possibly come back. I think that would be a great of this crop. He would probably be the best player to ask back.
Definitely.
Maybe even Halliburton.
Yeah. But you need the top guys now for this Olympics coming up in next year.
It's interesting because outside of Bam, there's not a lot of the elite centers in the league are not from the U.S.
They're not.
It's Jokic
and there's not too many.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, obviously the center position has changed a lot. So, but we'll see. Tournament's going to be over soon. Coco Gauff made it to the finals for the U.S. Open.
They are finally at the finals for the women and the men's. Shout out Alcaraz and Joker, Coco Gauff and Svetlana. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, the men still have to play the semifinals today.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
I think today.
Yeah.
They're playing. And then the women's final will be tomorrow, Saturday. So we'll see. By this time comes out, we'll know who has won. Should be fun. U.S. Open's always super fun. So, and then on the note of football, Justin Fields signed with Reebok.
Shout out Justin Fields. Good for him.
Yeah. See some Reebok cleats.
And up and coming player. We will.
Some answer cleats.
Question cleats.
Some question cleats actually could be pretty hard,
dude. We just barely had. This is our first episode on football, so really excited about the season coming up. Shout out to all the fans out there. Everybody's excited they get to cheer their teams on and for football coming back. We will definitely do some more football stuff and other sports coming up in the future. Episode 25 is coming faster than we expected, but we do have something cool planned for that. Obviously,
We're gonna beat each other up.
We're gonna fight on camera.
Pay-per-view.
But that's 25 is kind of like the milestone the first milestone for us that we're kind of looking at. So, but we will be back next week. Shout out to our boy Julie for getting over that stupid sickness, and super happy to have him back. I miss this guy.
Yes, happy to be back.
And thank you guys so much for listening. And sorry we weren't here last week, but we are back.
Football's back. We're back. So everything's good.
Go sports!
Go! I love sports.
I love sporting events.
Sports rule.
And shout out again to our homie Aaron for helping us out at this episode. And we will see you guys next week and on the flippy flop. So peace out, everybody. Dude, are you still recording?
It depends. Are you gonna say something
No,
bad?
no, yeah, I was.
Dude, I hate you.
This sucks.
I quit.